Alright guys, welcome back to Burnin' Rubber Garage. Wanted to bring you guys along. This will probably be a couple parts to it because it's going to take a while. I'm in the 72 Nova SS. It's a very fun car. When I bought it, it took a little bit of work to get it street worthy, and I had a lot of fun with it when I first got it. But since then, there's always been another project. Mustang, Challenger, they had a Tahoe I had to do some work on. They always seem to take priority, while meanwhile this has sat. And now it's not running super good. So when it sits here, it idles, it does okay. It shoots a little white smoke out. We might have a couple seals or gaskets, whatever, might have to be replaced along the way. When I take it out on the street, I go to drive it, and it'll rev up to probably about 2,000, 2,500, somewhere in that, maybe even 3,000 RPM. And then it just backfires and sputters. So we got some issues somewhere, whether it's the secondary's not opening. It's probably a whole bunch of stuff because the fuel that was in here sat for a while. Since then, I've replaced the fuel, but we'll probably be doing the fuel. We'll do plugs, we'll do wires. We're going to do fresh oil, fresh gas. We're going to clean out the carburetor. Might even have to rebuild it. Going to do a few odds and ends with it. This car is kind of a funny story, by the way. I'm always looking for cars. Always looking for cars. I would rather look for cars than just surf the web mindlessly. I like to read about cars, and you can find a real car guy by the way he writes his ad. If he comes along and it's like, did this, this, and this, and this, they usually have dates, miles, all that kind of stuff. It's you get to see a pretty good history of the car, and I enjoy reading those and looking at those. So I stumbled upon this car, and this was a long time ago. I'm saying 6 years or so ago, and it was in January or December that I sent a message. It was sitting at a dealership on consignment. So I wrote them, and I made a pretty, what I considered a lowball offer, but I was like, you know what do we have to lose? I really like the car. I love the color orange. The stripes look great on it. They're like a charcoal gray. They looked black in the pictures. So I made this lowball offer, and it was about a week later, the guy says, when can you come get it? And I was like, are you kidding me? What? So, needless to say, we went clear down to Reno, picked up the car, and it ran okay. It had its issues. Someone put an S10 starter on it. The carb was too small. Just a bunch of stuff was wrong with this car. There's still some things wrong with this car. But they took the offer. So we went down to Reno, brought it back. I had a 68 Mustang at the time that was nearing completion. We did a little bit on it about the same time. It was two old cars sitting in the garage. Looked really good. I'll see if I can find a picture of it and post it on this video. They looked really good. Then time passed. The 68 went its way. We picked up the 2011, put the supercharger and stuff on it. Picked up a Challenger. We had a Jeep for a little while. Now we got the Camaro. This car needs to get out and be on the road. My goal, and that's probably going to be the title of this video, is to get this car back on the road. So if I want to take it around the block or take it to get groceries, I can definitely do that. It's going to take probably a lot of work, but if I can get it to be back on the road, I'll register it. I haven't registered it yet because I had some other stuff that came up. We had a little one, just little things here. I get the money from doing installs and stuff like that on the side, and I would put it towards something else, or it would just go here and there. And these little bikes didn't help either, buying all these little bikes. So the goal is, if I can get this thing to run and drive, I will find the money, whether it's picking up a few more side jobs or whatever I got to do, sell a bike or two to get this thing registered, because they make you pay tax on these, which is I think is ridiculous, but I don't really want to get off on that. I kind of do, but I'm not going to. They make you pay tax on this thing that's probably been taxed who knows how many times since 72 or 71, probably when it rolled off the line. It's kind of frustrating. So with that though, in Utah you get a vintage plate. Won't have to do safety and inspection. This car is really nice. The brakes have been gone through. It's full disc brake, full power brakes, power steering. Exhaust sounds so good, and the Muncie down here is what's really sold me on the car. It was the I think it's the M22 Rock Crusher that's in this. I could be mistaken. It might be the M21. We got the 12 volt out back. I mean, it's a well thought out car. Nova's only came with a 350 that year, and this one's had a big block put in it, which is super cool. running a 427. The headers are just massive. Like your average car's exhaust is like that, and that's what each header is. I think they're a 1 7/8, plenty big, but this thing puts down some major power. If I can find that video, we'll insert it. Ran so good I just kind of put it on the back burner, and now the car's paying for it. So if you guys have old cars, make sure you run them. They need to be run. Even if it's just around the block, let them get up to temp and then park them. They need to run. Fluids need to exchange, or you start to get leaks, which is what I'm dealing with. I think I've got a leak in the rear main seal, which should be a joy to replace. So with that being said, here, this car is super fun. Her shifter, we've got the gauges over here, we've got an oil and water right there, your speedometer, tape deck. Heck yeah, we got some wires going down there because it's not quite hooked up right, so I pulled all those down. That'll be something we'll do. Everything else is pretty good. You got your wipers, they do work, but we need a screw or something to hold that in there. There's your Hirsch shifter. Seatbelts are pretty nasty, but seatbelts are expensive, so until I get it out on the road, we're not going to waste money on seatbelts. So, you know, as a lot of you guys know, the Camaro doesn't even have seatbelts. So I like to work on my cars over there. So we're going to move the Camaro over here, swap that over there, and then we can get started on it. I will probably put it on the trailer and go get it some gas, or just bring some gas and help pump this stuff out. Not sure yet. So let me go ahead and get that switched. Look for the next installment. We're probably going to do plugs and oil and stuff like that. So thanks for watching, and again, thanks for subscribing and liking the videos. All right, let's see if we can get this guy backed up. Does pollute a lot, go figure, huh? See if we can't get us out of this garage without hitting something too, would be another plus. So with this car running, you can't even hear the Camaro running. Break here and go walk around and show you guys. So there's the 68, there's the 72. This one sounds so good, that's why we got to get her out on the road. A little dirty. Let's go ahead and pull them in. All that work just to get these guys where we want them. It's two good looking cars. Clean that out up there, make some room to work on stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Got the Nova switched over. It's in the spot it needs to be worked on.